Welcome to this month's study of creating a tree scene where everything points toward the center. I'll walk you through both a watercolor version and acrylic version so you can choose how you want to approach it. I've also added chapters so you can jump between watercolor and acrylic, depending on which one you want to try. To start, I lightly tape off my edges. You don't have to do this, I just like the finished look it gives. These are both 2.5 by 3.5 inch art cards, so everything stays small and manageable. Using a pencil and a ruler if you want, I lightly map out the direction of the trees. Every line starts at the edge and points towards the center. That's what creates the perspective. Think of it if you were laying on the ground looking straight up. Everything pulls inward. For the watercolor version, I always start light and build darker. I begin with yellow and light greens, keeping the color loose and soft. From there, I layer in mid-tone greens and then deeper greens with a slight tint of blue to create shadow. When you're building the leaves, don't try to paint every detail. Focus on clusters of color. The outer edges of the trees will usually be lighter, and the deeper areas where the leaves overlap will be darker. Just build it gradually, and that's where the depth is going to come from. That's it for the watercolor portion. From here, I'm just going to let you watch the process. If you prefer working with acrylic, feel free to jump ahead to that section. Once the leaves are in place, I go back with a brown or a gray tone and add the tree trunks. Keep in mind, thicker at the edges, thinner as I move towards the center. That's what keeps perspective working. You'll also want to make one side slightly darker to give the tree a bit of form. In regards to this guy, sometimes I do add it before, but most of the time I add it after just because I don't know how the finished piece is going to look. For this guy, I start laying down clean water and then add blue into that wet surface so everything blends softly. If you want clouds, you can lift color out with a paper towel while it's still wet. This gives you that cloud-like effect. Using acrylics, you'll build the sky differently, layering paint instead of relying on water to do the blending. If you want to add a little more depth, you can include something small like a bird in the sky or a plane or a UFO. Totally up to you. It just adds a bit of scale. In this next part of the lesson, I switched to acrylic paint and paint pens. This version feels more like a full summer scene. The trees are fuller and the color is more solid. With acrylic, you can layer differently, adding light over dark if you need to. So it just gives you a bit more flexibility. I started by laying in the sky, then built the trees over top, layering different greens until they felt full. This study is really about understanding perspective, layering, and where the light shadow fall. Once you understand that, you can apply this to different seasons, different colors, and even different subjects. From here, I'm going to let the acrylic process play through so you can just observe. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you do comment, like, and subscribe. YouTube does really appreciate that, and honestly, so do I. That's it for this monthly study. If you try this, I'd love to see what you create. If this is something you enjoyed and want to try yourself, I offer monthly lessons through a Wandering Palette Art Club on Patreon. Each month you receive a small kit from my studio that includes a reference artwork, a watercolor practice card with one side lightly outlined and the other side left blank so you can create your own version. You also get the behind the scenes process, extra tips, and access to each lesson before it's released here on YouTube on the first Friday of the month. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, you can find it through a link in the description. I'd love to have you painting along with me. See you next time.